So good night and welcome. This is session 6 of our self-mastery level 2. Sorry, my video was off. Session 6. So we're ready to rock and roll, as tonight we're going to go through a few key things that would help with, as I would like to call it, mastering emotions. And also we're going to tap into some things that would basically help you to what is called as connect with your spirit guide. I like to call it connecting with your higher self, because your spirit guide technically is your higher self, right? In my case, for me, that tends to be Hanuman. For everybody, it will be a different experience. It can be a person, it can be a random person, somebody you look up to and stuff like that can become that spirit guide as well. It doesn't necessarily need to be, it can take any form, basically, right? It can take any form at all. So when we do that practice as well, someone can come to you and you can have an experience, or someone may not come to you. And for everybody, again, the experience will be unique. So it's something very unique to you, right? So we will work on that. But one of the main things we keep going through the process of emotions and dealing with emotions and healing emotions and stuff like that, right? Now, at some level, by now you would understand that that's very important. That's why we focus on it a lot. I don't like to use the word stress because we're not stressing on it. We are focusing on it, right? Because we want to be able to be better at dealing with our emotions. The reason being is the emotions are what creates the blockages that we have in our lives. Our emotions. All of the blockages you have that are preventing you from experiencing all that you want to experience and be all that you want to be is because they are emotional blockages. Once you remove these blockages, you open yourself up to experiencing all the things that you want to experience in this life and that you're supposed to experience. Because when you're born and you come into this world, you come into this world without all of the layers. When you come into this world, you start getting all the labels and all of the layers that are layered on top of that. And all sorts of emotions from the different experiences and the different forms of attachment that comes into your life through family, friends, school, work, all of those different things, right? So you don't have to become, we're taking it to a higher level, right, tonight. Normally we would say you have to become a powerful manifester, or you have to work on manifesting something that you want. The reality is that you are already that which you wish to experience in your life. You already have all of the power. You already have all of the ability. You are everything that you want to experience and attract. So what you have to do rather is you have to remove the blockages and the obstacles in order to just come into alignment with your higher self or your true self so that you can experience the things that you want, right? So it's not about becoming that. It's about rather removing the blockages so that you can go back to your true natural state, if you want to call it, so that everything can flow to you easily. So if I tell any one of you, I say take some time and do some breathing techniques and take some time and do some meditation. All of a sudden, you start feeling a little bit more peaceful, a little bit more balanced, a little bit more calm, and you start realizing that wait now, life is starting to take a different turn and life is starting to take a different course. Things will start to shift just by taking a 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, and you start breathing or you start meditating. It is going to start to shift your reality. There's no question about it. Because why? When you do the breathing or the meditation, both of them actually help you to do what? To become more calm, to become more centered, to become more focused. Right? There's a saying that says where focus goes, energy flows. Wherever you focus on whatever you focus on, it expands because you're giving energy to it. So if I were to focus on something for a very long period of time, for example, if it's positive, then that will become enhanced in my life. If I were to focus on something that is negative, then that will become enhanced in my life, right? So if we focus on all of the negative things that we're going through and experiencing, we will experience way more of that. If you focus on all the good things that are showing up in your life, you will experience more of that. So people may say sometimes, well, I don't have anything good going on, right? Things not going my way. Usually that's the typical response for most people. Then what am I going to focus on? And then I ask questions like, can you breathe? All right. If somebody can't breathe properly, then that wouldn't work for them, right? We'll have to try something else. But generally, can you breathe properly? Can you breathe fresh air? Yeah. Oh, great. You have something to be to focus on. You have something to be thankful for. Right? Can you see? Can you walk? I'm giving you all examples that you have, right? Right in front of you. Can you walk? Can you speak? Can you talk? Can you eat? Do you have a roof over your head? There are so many things in our lives for us to be appreciative of and grateful of right now and to celebrate. But because we have grown comfortable with it and we've grown accustomed to it, it seems like that's just how it's supposed to be, right? So I want for you all to start becoming more focused and intentional. Like sometimes people might think, hey, well, like I was showing you guys the place and stuff just like for me, I'm real grateful for this. Like you have no idea. So knowing from where I started to where I am and what I'm experiencing, it's a big shift, like a huge shift. So everything that I have every day, I express gratitude for it. From my vehicle to here, to the food that I eat, to everything. I am grateful for it. And I keep speaking about it and I always share it with others. It's not because I want to impress anybody, but I want to impress upon their minds that if Balmish could do it, then so can you. Just before I came onto the session with you guys, I was talking to one of my godsons. I think today's his ninth birthday, I believe. Um, I called to wish him a happy birthday, right? And I was talking to his dad, and then his dad is telling me he was like, he has two sons, right? He was like, these boys really leveling up. And he was like, who they sounding like? They sounding like you. I said, what do you mean? He was like, you really made an impact on their lives. And I don't meet them all the time, right? He said you really made an impact on their lives and they watch your videos sometimes and stuff like that. And they really get that inspiration that is needed. He said they went to one of the malls today to eat and stuff like that. And then they were talking to him about the environment. The young boys is telling 9 years old and like I think his brother is like 12 or 13 or whatever the case may be. They talking about the environment and how they're in a positive environment and it's good to come in these kind of places because you get to hang around the right type of people. And then my 9-year-old godson is saying he doesn't want to hang around certain types of friends because it's not good for him. Do you imagine that? Like they have this awareness from now because this is what I also teach to them because I teach across the board. And they are doing it, and the dad is now saying that the same one who's 9 years old, he says, I don't even have to tell him to do his job anymore. He was a little bit hardened, as you will say, mischievous when he was younger. But as he started to grow, I said yes, because he grew out of that phase. But we planted the seeds. We planted the seeds that was necessary to mold him and shape him in a certain direction. And now he will see it for himself because we already put those seeds in there. Right? He said he will do his job. He will show interest now in actually doing it for himself because we shaped, right? Him. Now, a young child is much more easier to mold than an adult. Why? Psychologically, because they have less conflicting information. They have less exposure, experience, knowledge, etc. So somebody that is much older, it's going to be a lot more difficult for you to reprogram and to experience things faster because you have a lot more blockages, a lot more experiences that you would have gone through. So you would have accumulated way more programming than they have acquired. Right? So Mindy, for example, like I said before, again, for you, it's going to be much easier compared to them. Not because you haven't gone through a lot of things, yes, you may have, but because of the fact that they have a lot more years of all the things that they would have gone through, it adds up to be so much more that it's going to take a lot more reprogramming for them to be able to get to that point. Now you can be older, but if you have not been exposed to a lot of different things and had a lot of trauma and stuff, it could still be easier for you. It may not be that difficult, right? But most people that have crossed the age of 30, you would have gone through something in your life, or maybe a few things, right? That would be a little bit difficult or trying and stuff like that. So those things that we have accumulated and built up through our emotions, that is preventing us from experiencing the life that we want to experience. And it shows up in our lives and it shows up in our bodies and stuff like that as something called as this disease. So as I always say, this ease of the mind leads to disease in the body. Where does it come from? When you have disease in the mind, it becomes the emotions, and then the emotions allows your body to take a shape or a form. I keep stopping and correcting Anu as well, right, Anupa? And I'm telling her when she says certain things, like, in work or even about herself, and she doesn't feel confident with certain things, I'm like, don't ever speak that, don't ever say that, change it. And anytime you feel you need to say, just pause and correct yourself. Pause and correct yourself. It's going to take some time, but the more that you do it, the easier it becomes. Even if I make a mistake and say something about myself that is negative, I change it immediately because I know that those words, right, is programming. And then the words is vibration. It's going to affect my emotions. And that is by extension going to become my body. So I do not speak or attempt to think anything that I do not want to become my body. One of the avatars that was upon the face of the earth, right, of the divine, said that the mind that we possess, this mind is like a monkey, but it's not just like a monkey, it's like a mad monkey. But it's not just like a mad monkey, it's like a mad drunken monkey. But it's not just like a mad drunken monkey, it's like a mad drunken monkey bitten by a scorpion. I want you to picture that for a second. Picture a mad drunken monkey bitten by a scorpion. That is how wild our mind is and how vast it is. You can't gain control over this. They can't gain control over this. But what you can do is, according to a monk I would have studied with, he said that you can train your awareness. You can train your awareness and you can move your awareness in the mind and create and pave pathways. When we did unwavering focus, we would have covered that. You can move this awareness to areas in the mind that you want. And that's what you want to do. Focus, 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 focus. Again, I would have conversations with other people as well all the time. You're doing something here, be present here. Be present here. Don't be here and you're focused on 10,000 things that are all around you. It is going to make it very, very difficult for you to get to the end result that you're trying to achieve. So you want to bring that focus in. If I'm here right now and I'm doing this, I want my focus to be at 100% here. I'm not studying the door. I'm not studying outside or the children or the house or the food or no, my focus is present here. Most human beings in this day and age have difficulty in being present. They have real difficulty in being present because they are always focused elsewhere on this and that and the next and the next and the next everywhere. Everything else except themselves and where they currently are. You want to alter everything in your life? You need to focus on this right here. This is the most important thing in your life. You are the most important thing in your life. How you breathe, how you walk, how you talk, how you eat, how you sleep, every single thing. Now, it might sound like work, eh? But here's the thing. The more that you do this, and the more that you become intentional about it, after a while it becomes, what does it become? It becomes your program. So it becomes subconscious. So then after a while, it's just going to be natural. For example, when you learn to ride a bike, all of us at some level here would have started with a tricycle, right? You had training wheels, right? Or you had training wheels on the bike. And then after the training wheels, then you moved to the bike without the training wheels. And then you fell down a few times. And then you got back up and you kept going. You didn't learn to walk just so. You had to crawl, right? And then eventually you learned to stand up and you fell back down. Stood up, you fell back down, and then you kept going. So it's a process. But the more that you do it, driving, for example, you didn't just one day just magically just know to drive. It took a process of practice. And now, eventually, it just has become subconscious. So the more that you do it, the more that you do it, eventually it is going to become subconscious to you. It's going to become much more easy for you to actually do. So what we have to do now is we have to unlearn some things, and we are now going to start practicing implementing some new information to create new habits, because new information leads to new habits and new habits leads to new results. Albert Einstein says, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results, that is termed as insanity. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expect different results. It has to change. And if you do not currently have what you wish to experience, so you're not where you are, right, with the experience that you want, then you need to do something different. Like a lot of people will stay stuck, like a top spinning in mud, we say. They'll be stuck there and they'll remain there and they'll be like, oh my God, I can't get out of this. Oh no. But they keep spinning right in the center there and they're not doing anything different. You have to do something different. Today, I'm going to teach you a technique, right? You're going to learn something called emotional freedom tapping. That is actually, anybody familiar with that terminology? EFT, emotional freedom tapping. Right. Okay. Familiar? Good. So by learning to tap, right, there's a formula, an actual process of tapping where you start to tap different parts of the body in a certain order. And by doing that, there are certain phrases that you repeat to yourself. And what you're able to do is you're able to actually release your emotions and your stress and stuff like that. And it feels really, really refreshing, right? After you do it. Now, we have dealt with chakras, we have dealt with Ho'oponopono, we've dealt with past life regression, which is advanced healing of the subconscious impressions and stuff like that. And all of this, as I said before, is a process. So anything that you learn here, you want to take it and you want to at least implement it for at least 21 days. That's the key factor, right? At least 21 days. So what I want from you right now to do for me is I'm giving you a task, very simply. I want you to write down one thing that you're committing to for the next 21 days to shape your life differently from where you currently are. Where you are right now, based on what it is you want to achieve in your life, what is one thing that you can do differently right now, consistently for the next 21 days to shape your life, to bring and produce the result that you want? It doesn't just have to be a technique here, it can be anything. I want you to just write that down for me. I'm giving you like a minute to do that. And I'm coming back in 1 minute while you do that. One thing that you are committing, not thinking you're gonna do, you're committing to this. This is a promise that you're making to yourself. Not like people who promise to go to the gym and they pay to go to the gym and never show up. Real commitment. Okay, good. You all got that? Sorry, a little situation there. Just sorting that out. Oh, gonna go. So all of you have one thing? Yeah? No? All of you got your one thing that you're committing to for the next 21 days? Okay, great. Share with us. What's your one thing?
Well, I actually have two things.
Okay,
One is I'm committing to taking 10,000 steps daily.
right.
Usually I do it, sometimes I don't, and then meditate every day.
Okay, great. High five. Let's go. Boom. Virtual claps. You go for it, girl. You got this. Yeah, I want to start taking 10,000 steps a day. I'm actually gonna buy I'm gonna invest in one of these walking bad thingies so I can make a commitment because I make excuses because I'm home and I can't step out because I'm doing so many things. Now I can actually do my stuff and walk on a walking pad. And I could probably even watch TV while doing it.
Great.
But I'll commit it, yeah. So on board with you on that one. All right. Who else? What do you got?
So I have three things.
Uh-huh.
Well, actually four, but three.
Oh
Well, four.
God. Mhm.
So I wanna commit to working on self-love, self-respect, self-care, and my anger.
All right. So remember I said this one, I'll give a hair hint, right? There's a reason why I asked for one. I wanted to show you something. Focus. You see what happened just now? I said one ended up with two, the next one ended up with four.
Yeah, because it just
Focus.
came along.
You want it to be one pointed, one thing at a time. I want to develop the habit of focus because we give ourselves tasks sometimes, and when you bombard with too many things at the same time, one, you're splitting the energies in too many different directions, and two, I mean, like Shivani, one ties into each other, right? So that's cool. That is like pretty simple. That's part of your normal routine, right? In other words, but for example, self love, self care, anger, all of those. Self love and self care is kind of the same thing. What was the third one?
Self-respect.
Right, self-love, self-care, self-respect could all tie into one. The anger is a completely different topic. And those to be able to manage, you want to focus on one. So choose one. Is either the self-love, self-care, self-respect, or the anger. Which one you think is more important right now?
Self-love.
Right. Focus on that. So the thing is, you want to hone in your focus. It's just like people doing devotion. When I tell them you don't want to do too many different types of devotion because you're splitting your energies in too many different directions. It'll take you much longer to get to your destination. If you focus on one thing, for example, if I were to work out, let's say one muscle group consistently for a period of time, would I get more results in that area rather than working all the different muscle groups and trying to achieve the result at the same time? It will take much longer to get that done. But if I were to focus on one and consistently do what I have to do, it will get there faster. That's what you want with these goals. That's what I want you to achieve, right? So when you apply this, you'll realize, remember what I always say, how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm trying to help you get discipline as well. So when you're focusing on one thing, what you will do, it becomes easier. So even Shivani, even those two kind of tie still make one a priority. You could try to do the other one, but make one a priority that no matter what happens, I am going to do this one for the next 21 days.
The meditation, I think,
Yeah,
is more.
because honestly, I really want you to be committed to the one, right? And when you've achieved that, you'll realize how much easier it's going to become after to do one thing for 21 days. Like I said,
You're,
we just wrapped up one and then, huh?
so you're right. I need to work on the focus on being grounded and doing one thing and not having so
Correct.
many different things.
And why I can tell you this clearly too is because I'm an expert of doing multiple things. That's the story of my life. I've always done 10,000 things, never just one. But over time, I started to gradually shift and change that in recent times, actually. And I see results much faster when I focus on one main thing. After a while, when you become more focused, you will be able to, what we say, shift your awareness to things. So like I can shift my awareness, be present here, do what I'm doing here, and then shift my awareness to something else, be present there, and do that. Like that. You'll be able to do that after. To multitask more efficiently. Because a lot of people try to multitask, but they end up in chaos.
Yeah.
Because they're never getting anything finished, right? So what I try to do is I focus, I be present here, I finish this. I focus on something else, I be present, I do that. And I could shift back and forth really quickly now. Right? But at the same time, I'm getting things done. Right? So yeah, one thing, Mindy, what is your one thing you're gonna commit to for the next 21 days?
Um, to be able to focus without my emotions getting in the way, because that's always happened.
Right. And based on the things that you've learned, what do you think is the easiest way to do that? Or do you need help?
Um, I think I need extra help with that because recently, I was telling you all sometimes some of the stuff helped with my anxiety and depression.
Right.
Kind of realize like with all the pressure that I am under, I kind of had a meltdown Friday, which was
Right.
not supposed to happen.
No, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up over that. Things will happen to me even at the level that I'm at, things will happen. But the difference is now, sorry to cut you there, but just to get that point across one time, right? Even when it happens now, the only thing that happens to me, as long as you're human, things gonna happen. What happens is I pull myself back faster. So it's easier to basically I deal with it, I get mad at it, or I get depressed, and boom, I snap back. Like it doesn't stay long with me, right? But it happens still. So
But
don't think that you know it's not good that it happened to you. Right?
yeah.
Right? So don't beat yourself up over it and that kind of thing. Being able to accept that things will happen in life, but I am saying I'm now better equipped to deal with it. That's the key thing. Right? Because every time you level up, more challenges gonna come. More each level you go to, it's gonna get bigger. It never gets easier, and this is me telling you the absolute truth. It never gets easier. It gets more difficult, but what happens is you become better equipped to deal with it. Right? So it may seem easy to deal with because you are equipping yourself at each level, right? So I'll tell you the secret for that. And anybody has problem with this. You want to be able to not let your emotions get in the way and focus. What you do is when something happens, you feel the emotion, experience it. Become aware of the emotion and say, here's what. This is what I'm going through. Outline the process in your head mentally. This is what I'm going through. This is what is happening. This is what the situation is laid out. I accept, I'm aware of this. I accept that this is what it is, but this is not my permanent reality. This is just an experience. All of us get attached to these experiences, thinking something I learned a little while ago. We think that this is our reality. That's not our reality. It's an experience in our reality, right? So just become aware that it's just an experience that you're having right now, and that experience will never stay with you forever. When you become aware of that, you accept it. Okay, it is what it is now. How do I deal with it? Deal with it if you can and move on. If you can't deal with it, now don't stress over it because the thing is, you're going to stress about an issue. You're going to stress, and you're going to figure it out anyways. What I will do now is something starts bothering me. I take a pause, I take a breather, and I'm like, okay, let me take a walk. Let me eat something. Let me do what I have to do. And then I come back to it when I'm in a stable state of mind. And when I'm relaxed, not in the heat. So a couple of days ago, well, Anupa and I have this rule where we don't want to have arguments, right? We don't want to have conflicts. So we discuss a lot of things very maturely, despite the fact that we are young, based on obviously the things that we know, right? We don't want to have arguments, but we are going to have disagreements and conflict, but we don't want to argue about it. So what we do, if it is we disagree on something, I automatically usually I'm the one I'll pause. I'll be like, hey, pause. Right? It's like, let's just pause. We'll come back to this later. So we pause, we leave the as is, and then we come back later when we can discuss it, and then we discuss it. And that's something that causes, I've seen this over the years, dealing with relationships and then counseling people and stuff. That causes some of the biggest problems in relationships, friendships, all these things. People never communicate. Instead, they argue and you say things that hurt one another in the moment because you're now your emotions all over the place. You say things that hurt each other and come back after, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I love you, da 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 da, but you don't do the damage because you hurt them, right, by saying what you said. Pause, don't react it. Don't react. Pause, move on, come back to it later and deal with it. But here's the real secret that I want to share with all of you here. There's an actual technique that whenever it is you're feeling a particular way with your emotions, what you want to do, and I've done this for some of my friends, like sometimes when they call me and they're like, I don't know how to deal with what is going on right now. I say, pause. Pause for a second, and I want you to listen carefully to me and just do what it is I'm telling you right now. I want you to close your eyes. You're going to take 3 deep breaths. Then they will take the 3 deep breaths. You can actually make note of this if you would like, because this is real important, right? It will help you. So whenever you are faced with any situation or you are feeling emotions that you do not want to experience, this is what this is. Or you're feeling horrible in your body. What you do is you just pause, close your eyes. You're gonna take 3 slow deep breaths. And after you take the 3 slow deep breaths, you're going to go back. You're taking your mind on mentally. You're going to visualize and recount any experience that you can remember in your life where you were most grateful. You're going to shift your mind to gratitude, your awareness rather, sorry. You're going to shift your awareness to gratitude. So you're going to recount any experience in your life where you were most grateful, because gratitude and anger cannot coexist. Gratitude and hate cannot coexist. Right? So start recounting that experience in your mind. This is what happened. This is how I felt, da da da, all those things. And then what you're going to do next is you're going to start listing things in your life right now that makes you very, very grateful. Start to list them mentally. I am grateful for my home. I am grateful for my family. And I want you to think about it and picture them and picture why you're grateful for these things. I am grateful for the food that I have to eat. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for the ability to travel or whatever it is, whatever things you have in your life that you can be grateful for. I'm grateful for all of the wonderful, amazing experiences that I've had. List them if you actually can, what these experiences are. What it does, you're going to start by doing this every time you're in an emotional state that you don't want to be in, you will start training your awareness to go to gratitude. So when you do that over and over and over, what does repetition do? When you do it over and over and over and over and over a period of time, eventually it is your program. So whenever in future now something arises that affects the emotional state, automatically, guess what is going to happen to you? In your mind, you're going to start like, oh, what am I grateful for? So what happens to me now is I would get angry sometimes. Let's say sometimes you're driving, somebody give you a bad drive, like a real bad drive, like then endanger your life and stuff. I'll be like, I am a peaceful, joyful, divine being having a human experience. So literally, I'm telling you, so I get angry, but then I literally jump to saying that, but my mind subconsciously does it. I don't even have to think about it anymore. I'm in a situation where somebody's angering me. Like I went to the movies, right, with my best friend. And it was a few of us, right? My closest friends, right? And we went to buy stuff at the concession counter, right? And while we're there, this whatever you want to call them, the person that is at the concession stand. What do you call them again? Like a barista, whatever, right? Whoever, right? Yeah, is there. The server that is serving us there, right? The CSR, customer service representative. She has a little bit of an attitude. Now, the people around me do not easily tolerate anybody having a specific type of attitude, especially towards me, right? And because I don't give anybody that kind of attitude, and I always greet people with a nice energy and that kind of thing. So my best friend, she get pissed, right? Real mad. She was mad. She ready to jump over the counter. So she was like, who the hell is what she is, man? How's she talking to you like that? I said, pause. So even in public, I was like, pause. Just now. I was like, remember, this is something I'm telling you all as well too. I don't know if I told you all this. I don't think I shared this with you as yet. Huh? Hurt people, hurt people. Did I ever share that with you on the story behind it? Why hurt people hurt people? Did I ever tell you the story? All right. So I learned this from Vishan Lakiani, the founder of Mind Valley, right? So Vishan said that one day he was walking down the street and walking down the street, heading to work or whatever the case may be. He saw this woman in front of him. She was walking and she was walking a little fast paced and she was eating something. And she basically, while eating, and she just took the wrapper, she folded up and she just threw it and it missed the bin and it fell on the ground. Now, he's seeing this happening and he's really against littering and those things, right? So he gets mad, right? And he has to prove a point. So what he does, she threw it somewhere and it fell in front of her, right? He walks and walks so quickly and he walks past her and he goes and picks this up, turns, looks at her, and drops it in the bin. And then now, the person, while walking, he tries to prove a point to her that this is what you should have done. You shouldn't have done whatever else, right? Whatever the case may be. The person now turns to him and says, you're an you're an ass. That was the actual response, right? Like whatever. And then he was like, he's feeling like something that's weird. I just corrected you for the wrong that you did, and you want to tell me something like this? And in the moment, he was confused. And then he was like, but you threw the paper on the ground. That's not something that you should remember. And she was like, I just had a terrible breakup. And she was coming on there. And real quick, her mind wasn't focused and she wasn't thinking, but literally that whatever she was eating gave her some form of peace or comfort. And she was not focused on throwing the wrapper where it was actually falling at that point in time. So she wasn't focused on it, right? And it just happened to fall and fall outside. Now, him observing her from his perspective, he was only seeing the wrong thing that was being done or the mistake based on his perspective, his perception of her. He judged the individual without even thinking what was going on in her life in order for her to react in the way that she was reacting. Now, I'm not saying that littering is correct, nor are we condoning the behavior. But in that moment, he learned that lesson where he realized that hurt people hurt people. Hurt people will do things and say things to you sometimes that they don't really want to say to you. But it's either because you are a reflection of what they wish they could be, or because in your life right now, you're experiencing something that they wish they were experiencing. I want you to think about that for a second. Or they have just faced something very traumatic in their life, and all of us have been that person before. We face something very difficult in our lives, and we're going through it, and nobody knows, and they come to you, and they end up getting the wrath, or they end up getting the heat of whatever it is you just faced. Sometimes you bring it to your home, to your partner, to your kids, all of them end up facing it because you just dealt with this. This is why we do self-mastery. Hurt people hurt people. So what I told my friend when we were there at the movies, I told her, I said something she may have dealt. I said, did you think about the fact that for the entire day she's at this concession stand, she may have dealt with some really rude customers. She may have really dealt with some people that spoke to her in a really tough way, right? And something like that. And maybe she's really tired standing on her feet all day. So now I said, and then she was like, but it doesn't give her the right. I said, no, it doesn't give her the right. But adding fuel to the fire does not help the situation either. If we look to overpower her and we look to make her feel like a fool or whatever, then you don't make the people angry who's serving you your food. Period. You don't ever get these people a little more hungry, right? I want no spit on my food. I'm happy having food that has no spit, right? So in that moment, what you could do best in that moment is actually offer some form of kindness, some form of love. That is what will make the key difference for you there, right? You want to give some form of kindness, some form of compassion, some form of love. What I'm telling you, don't let anybody walk over you at the same time. But what you should do is pour some love on them and then move on with your life. Period. That's it. Give them a smile, give them a little reason to smile if you can, and you move on. And that's what I did. And I did that there. And at the same time, we went to just before that, as a matter of fact, I was drawing reference to them because just before that, we went and we had dinner in one of the restaurants in the same area in the mall. And a week before, our yoga class had our Christmas dinner. And I built this rapport with the server, this girl who was serving. And at the end of it, it had a Kisses chocolate on the table. I gave it to her, the server, and then, tipped her and whatever. This is what I do everywhere I go, right? So this same night now, when all of this is happening, we went to have dinner just before in the same restaurant, and the server saw me from a distance. She was serving another table, and she came up to the table just to tell me. She was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm good." She was like, she's like, "I remembered you," and she's not even Trini, right? She's actually Venezuelan, so she could barely speak English, but she's like, "I remembered you." I said, "Really? With all these people you're serving here, you remembered me?" She said, "Yeah, because you did something that nobody else did." I said, "What?" She said, "You gave me the little chocolate," and I was like, "Wow." Look how a little thing like that put a smile on somebody's face and made them remember me, right? It happened in Guyana as well. I went to a restaurant with my cousins, an Indian restaurant, and a year later I went back to Guyana, went to the same restaurant. As I walked in, the guy recognized me, the manager. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell everybody, Pandit G is here today. We're gonna have special menu for you." Just so, right? We got inside, and my cousin did not watch me like this. So we got inside now. We sat down, and when we sat down, food came, and I saw things I've never even seen. Like I order in Indian restaurants all the time, right? They made some real cool, unique dishes. And she was like, "But what is this? I just eat here all the time. I never get this kind of treatment." Right? She was like, "The thing that is missing, I think, is you." Right? So what had happened again? Because when I went to the establishment, I interacted with the guy on a certain level. I spoke to them and I treated them in a particular way. People tend to remember that. And that's something that I try to apply all the time in my life. I went to the grocery one day. A guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey, how are you going?" I was like, "I know your face from somewhere now." But remember, I see so many faces every day, so many new people. I can't remember everybody, right? Sometimes I go to garden. Last night I went to garden, a satsang with over 300 people. I don't even know these people. But a lot of them was asking who I was and all of those things, right? If I see them tomorrow, I would not remember most of them, right? So this guy came up to me and was talking to me in the grocery, the supermarket, and he was like, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm good." I was like, "How are you doing?" He's like, "I don't think you'll remember me," but he was like, "I used to pump gas in the gas station, that used to come." I was like, "Oh, right, right." And he was like, because why? Every time I go to the gas station, they come to pump, I'll give them a $5. I'll give them $5 and I'll talk to them and have a conversation. "Hey, how you doing?" What does that do? It goes a long way. They remember you, right? It goes a long way. So the one thing we could do to this world to change and to alter, how society is shaped and that kind of thing, and the minds of individuals is adding some love and some compassion and just adding a smile to somebody's day. Tell somebody have a great day. I talk to all the security officers when I see them standing at the gates, all those things. If I can buy something for somebody, I have a habit now, what I started doing now because in a little bit of a better position. When I walk into an establishment, sometimes I pay for people food and stuff like that. A couple of days ago, there was a traffic warden. She was buying her breakfast, and I asked her, I was like, "Could I pay for this for you?" And she's like, "No, no, it's okay, it's okay." I was like, "No, I just want to do this." I was like, "This is my good deed for today. Don't take it away from me." And I swiped the card, I just paid for it, and she was like, "What's your name?" And then I told her, and I went about my business. I mean, obviously, next time she sees Money Road, just in case I make a mistake, she may not penalize me. So there is some form of strategy, right? I always build relationship with the law enforcement officers, but I do it with everybody, right? But what I'm saying is it goes a long way. Sometimes you end up in a position, people are like, "Hey, that's the pundit, hey, that's Balmishji, whatever." And it's like you get a different reaction, you get a different treatment. It goes a long way, right? So yeah, just wanted to share that with you guys, right? Sherry, what's your one thing that you choose that you're committing to for the next 21 days?
Uh, to eat more greens,
Oh, let's go.
more greens, more healthy food.
Brain food. I love it. Pretty cool. You need to get, yeah, virtual class to that one too. Because I need some more. Well, I always eat my broccoli, by the way. I eat my broccoli. I tend to try to eat, I tell people like I normally try to make it a lifestyle. So like every time I'm eating, I have this rule where I try to make it a balanced meal. So all of the people close to me knows that, right? Yesterday, one of my goddaughters who cooks for me normally, she was telling Anupa that she was like, when he eat it, you gotta make sure his meal's balanced. Right? He's a man like he needs to have his protein, his little carbs, and have his fiber and his veggies and stuff like that, right? Always. That's my rule. I need to have balance. I will not eat unless it have enough protein, unless it have veggies in it, right? That's the rule. So, and I do not want double carbs. Like these little things there, So when you put that into your routine, generally, even though you forget sometimes, like, or you in a rush, you will always make sure at least you have somebody basic things down. And eventually becomes a lifestyle. So yeah, we kind of wanted to do some stuff, but now we have to wait until after the wedding because it's like really hectic. So from next year, we said from January, we're gonna structure things out, lay it out, and we're gonna get serious with the working out and stuff again. And because I'm always in those things, right? It's just for this past couple months, I've been a little bit out of it. But from January again, I'm gonna get back systematized and structured and focused in. So just like you're focusing on something that you want to do, I am also, I have things that I've committed to that I'm doing for a certain period of time as well. Right? So Yeah, pretty cool stuff. So we're gonna look now at the emotional freedom tapping video. So I want to show you all this real quickly. Let's see. So emotional freedom tapping, as I was saying before, like I said, it's tapping different parts of the body, right? So what it does, it focuses on tapping the 12 meridian points in the body, right? So if you want to make a note of what it is, it focuses on tapping the 12 meridian points of the body to relieve symptoms of a negative experience or emotion. So this is another one can help you, especially Mindy, as you was asking for. I'll repeat it. EFT, or emotional freedom tapping, focuses on tapping the 12 meridian points of the body to relieve symptoms of a negative experience or emotion. By extension, it's also used as an alternative treatment for physical pain and emotional distress, because all of the stress that you have turns into actual physical pain in your body. Yeah? It reflects in your body. That's why trauma and stuff becomes disease in the body, right? In some cases, it's referred to as just tapping, or also called psychological acupressure, right? Because it's done more at a psychological level than a physical level, right? It also helps to create a balance in the energy system. People who use this are more specific people. It's used to actually treat people who suffer with things like anxiety and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And there's 5 steps. So just make note of this. 5 steps. Step number 1. Identify the issue. So you need to first identify what is the issue that you're facing and that you're encountering. Just 1 second. Right, so you're gonna identify the issue, right? As I said. So what you could do also, if you have more than one things you're addressing, like I said, the goal should be to focus on one. But if you have more than one, you could repeat the process to basically focus on each one separately, right? Individually, if needed. So if it's multiple different types of issues or fears that you have, right? So when you're doing it, 1 rounds, you want to have one focal point, so one issue, right? You do the entire process with that one issue, and then if you want to do it again, you do it again, the entire process for another issue. Good? So focusing on only one problem at a time will enhance your outcome, as I was sharing with you previously. Then number 2, the second thing is, the heading for that will be test the initial intensity. You need to set a benchmark. Test the initial intensity of the fear or issue that you have. You want to test it. After you identify it, you're going to set a benchmark level of the intensity of it, right? This intensity is rated on a scale from 0 to 10. 10 being the worst or most difficult, right? So for example, let's say I have whatever the fear or the issue is, right? Like I have some emotional distress. Let's say I have a broken heart. Okay, identify what the issue is. I have a broken heart because of so and so and so. How difficult is this for me to deal with right now? Is it a 3? Is it a 5? Is it a 7? Is it a 10? Right? That's what the intensity would be. So you determine whatever the issue is or the fear, how difficult it is. So this scale will assess the emotional or physical pain and discomfort you feel from the focal issue, right? Establishing this benchmark will help you to monitor your progress after performing a complete EFT sequence, right? So if it is that your initial intensity was 10, for example, at the end of it, you want to test now to see where it is at. Is it at 7? Is it at 5? Right? So if it is the first time your intensity is at 10, level 10, the second time it may be at 7 or even maybe at 5 based on how intense it is. Right? So you want to test it so that you'll know how much you need to do this again. It's just like Ho'oponopono. When you do it, remember, you do it over and over and over with one focal point until eventually you are at that comfortable space where you can hug the individual, state things like I love you, etc. Right? That kind of thing. Even hug the person. 3, the setup. So prior to doing the tapping, you need to establish a phrase that explains what you're trying to address. So establish a phrase, which must focus on two main things, two main goals. To establish a phrase that explains what you're trying to address while focusing on two main goals. Number one, the first thing is acknowledging the issue. Right? So the first of the two main things is acknowledging the issue, right? As part of the setup. And the second one is accepting yourself despite the problem. So the two things that your phrase must focus on while explaining what you're trying to address is acknowledging the issue and accepting yourself despite the problem. So how are you going to say it? How an example rather of the phrase is going to be like, you're writing this down because this is what you want to use, right? Even though I have this, let's say anxiety, depression, broken heart, whatever it is. So even though I have this anxiety, or even though I have this fear, or even though I have this problem, whatever the problem is, you put it in bracket, fear or problem, right? You put that in brackets, you fit in the fear or problem there. Even though I have this fear or problem, obviously you'll be stating exactly what it is, right? I deeply and completely in some cases they say I fully and completely. So I deeply and completely accept myself. So even though I have this fear or problem, I deeply and completely accept myself. So you can alter this phrase accordingly so that it fits your problem, but this must not address someone else's problem. For example, you can't say something like, even though my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. Right? The reason is you have to focus on how the problem makes you feel in order to relieve the distress it causes. So how you would address a situation, let's say based on like my mom being sick, even though, what is the problem? Even though I'm sad that my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. You understand? So you want to focus on the emotion, the fear or the problem that you are facing, not the problem that somebody else is facing. That's real important. So like, even though I'm sad that my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. Not even though my mother is sick, I can deeply and completely accept myself. The problem or the fear cannot be identifying something that is based on what somebody else is experiencing. It has to be what you're experiencing. Good? Right, so there are 12 major meridians, as I was saying before, 12 major meridian points that mirror each side of the body. And all of them correspond to an internal organ. Right. So 12 major meridians that mirror each side of the body that and also correspond to an internal organ, right? However, when it comes to EFT mainly focuses on 9 of those. And that would be, these areas would be the side of the hand. It's sometimes referred to as a karate chop. So, did you see my hand here? So like karate chop. In some cases, you do like a karate chop. In some cases, you just do like this. You can just tap it like this, right? Karate chop meaning this part of the hand, this area, that's what I mean. Right? Over there, right? So there, top of the head, above the head, eyebrow, side of the eye. So eyebrow, there's a format that comes in there, eyebrow, side of the eye. Then you come under the eye. Right, so so side of the eye, next one under the eye, then under the nose, then chin, then collarbone area, beginning of the collarbone, over here, under the arm, like right over here, so like this area right over here, so not directly on the arm here, right, but right on the side here, so right on the side. I'll run a video just on, you'll see demonstrated properly, right? But this is just giving you an idea, so you'll have a proper rundown of what it looks like. Alrighty, so let's get this video. Let me see if I have this video. Very quickly for you. I'm gonna look at this lovely young lady here demonstrate how the tapping is properly done.
Welcome to the tappingsolution.com. This is Jessica Ortner, and welcome to our How to Tap area. Here we'll provide all the information to help you get started right away to use this incredible stress relief technique that will really benefit your mind and your body. Now in this video, I'm going to show you where the tapping points are so you can get a visual. The first point is the side of the hand, and it's the karate chop point. So tap on that fleshy part. The next point is the eyebrow point, and it doesn't matter which side of the body you tap on. Just pick a side and tap where the beginning of your eyebrow begins, right on that hair. I hope you're tapping along with me. You're gonna follow that bone until you're on the side of the eye, staying on that bone. Then underneath the eye, again, staying on that bone. Underneath the nose, the chin point, which is actually the crease between your lip and your chin, your collarbone point. I like to just take my whole hand and tap where a man's bow tie would lie, and you'll stimulate the point. Then underneath the arm, about a hand width from your armpit. Then you end with the top of the head. Those are the 9 points in this tapping algorithm, and that is 1 round. So what you do is you begin by saying the setup statement. The setup statement is, even though I have this problem, so even though I have this anxiety, even though I have this headache, I love and accept myself, or simply, I accept myself. A lot of people feel resistant to this. They say, why would I ever say I accept something that I want to get rid of? Well, it's our inability to accept a feeling that usually keeps it stuck in place. By saying the setup statement, it sets us up for the rest of the process, helps neutralize any judgment we have around the problem. So you say the setup statement 3 times, then you tap on the rest of the acupressure points while simply saying how you feel. It's not about the fancy language. It's about being honest with how you're feeling, bringing that up in your body, and tapping on that acupressure, on these acupressure points. Again, sending that calming signal to the brain, letting your brain know that even with this thought, you are safe and it's okay to relax. So let me give you an example of what one tapping round may look like. If you are stressed around, say, a deadline, you would tap and say, even though I feel so stressed around this deadline, I love and accept myself. Even though I feel stressed around this deadline, I accept myself. Even though I feel stress around this deadline, I love and accept myself. Whatever variation of the setup statement you'd like to use is perfect. And then we're going to tap on the rest of the points just while we vent. So it would go something like this. The stress around this deadline. Side of the eye, I have too much to do. Under the eye, it's too much for one person. Under the nose, all this pressure that I feel. Chin, this pressure I feel to do it perfectly. Collarbone, this pressure around this deadline. Under the arm, all this pressure around this deadline. Top of the head, all of this pressure. It's as simple as trusting your intuition and really just giving a voice to the tape you're already playing in your head. You might already be having that panicked conversation. Now have that conversation with yourself while stimulating the points to really see a difference. You'll get to the point where you can say these things, you can think these thoughts without having the tension, the physical response. And that is where the real change happens. Well, I hope that is enough to help you get started. Continue reading here to get more information, and welcome to thetappingsolution.com.
Really cool, right? That's pretty awesome stuff, right? Yeah, no, maybe. So those of you that said you're familiar with tapping before, every single detail as is, or you knew some of it, or you was exposed to some of it before?
Exposed and some is new.
Slightly exposed. I didn't I never really tried it myself, but I've heard of
You
it.
knew of it. All right. Well, now we actually cool, right? So now we actually get into experience. I find it's really cool because it really feels freeing, right? It really feels freeing. So and sharing these things, what I love about doing this and being able to share this with others is that it gives me the opportunity to keep practicing it as well. You know what I mean? They always say when you want to master something, you teach it to others, right? And then you're able to master it as well. So it's really cool. So the fourth part is the tapping sequence, and I told you the different areas to tap. What you're doing, remember, you want to write this down as well under that fourth one, because then give you the fifth as well, right? So under the fourth one, so you're tapping, beginning with the side of the hand. Obviously, right? And then what you're doing, you're reciting a setup phrase 3 times, whatever the setup phrase is, as she did it just now. And in some cases, what they say is that you tap. So when you tap, you start there. And as you move to the other ones, what you're going to do is you're going to tap like at least 7 times. in each area like 7 times. But you don't need to specifically check it, but at least now. And like she was saying, you're basically venting. You can use the same setup phrase, or you can just say different things about it. You know what I mean? What's one thing I need to release right now? I don't know. I'm blessed. I'm happy. You know. Alrighty. So, and what you're gonna do, you're moving down the body in the same order as I would have given you the different points. So start tapping here, then tapping here, then you come down here, right? The same order that you have written down. So what you can do, as it's the first time you're doing it, you can follow me, but you could also just watch your notes and see each different points. You come down, right? You tap in that order, that specific order, right? Right? And here you can tap below your arm, you can like tap with your palm open as you wish, right? Like that. I need to give you a setup phrase. You could follow me what I'm doing, but I need to give you a setup phrase because you was missing, right? Yeah, Anupa arrived. You can say hi. Right. So what we're doing is emotional freedom tapping. So you need to come up with a setup phrase of some issue or emotion that you're trying to deal with, and this is something that will really help you. So what you're doing to create your phrase is you're simply saying, even though I have this, whatever fear or problem or issue you want to resolve. If there's an emotion you want to release right now, like what? Some fear or issue you facing right now, just think about it, right? So come up with an meaning. So even though I have this, whatever the fear or problem is, I deeply and completely accept myself. And while I'm saying it, what you're going to do is you're going to tap various points. So you'll see me doing it, and you can just follow through. So we can probably come up with one, because what we'll do is I mute my mic as well, so that I wouldn't disturb yours, right? So what I do is we all say it privately to ourselves, and we can tap. So nobody knows what your issue is, right? But you can, like I said, we can follow the tapping together. Good? So we can come up with one, something that we're probably dealing with together. Huh? Oh my God, abandonment issues. Okay. Oh, don't worry about that. Rejection issues? Yeah. Okay, I can deal with that one too, because I think I have rejection issues. Yeah. Yeah, so we could probably work on that one because we could do that together. Okay. So you can just follow me, right? So, right. So that was wrapping up 4. So what you're gonna do, after you tap the underarm, you finish the sequence at the top of the head. So make note of that. That's right under what you wrote there, right? After tapping under the arm, you're finishing the sequence at the top of the head. So what you can do is if you set up phrases like the example we used just now, even though I'm sad my mother is sick, so you can't, it has to be an emotion that you're experiencing. So you can't say, even though my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. But you can say, even though I'm sad, because that's the emotion, even though I'm sad my mother is sick, I deeply and completely accept myself. So what you can do, if that's your phrase, for example, like us, even though I face rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. That's our statement, right? Even though I face rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. You need to have a reminder phrase, and you can use this for the others as a comment. So for example, like the sadness I feel that my mother is sick, that's the reminder phrase. So for us, it could be like the rejection I face, right? Oh, the rejection I face, like she was doing just now, right? This anxiety, the pressure that I feel, like how the girl was saying it just now, right? So you just have a reminder phrase. So you don't have to say the full phrase back for all the others. You're just saying, starting it off with your main phrase, your setup phrase, and then after you just have a reminder phrase, right? And repeat it for each point. And then what you're going to do is you're repeating the entire sequence at least 2 or 3 times. I would say aim for 3 times. So you complete the sequence once, and then you do it a second time, and then you do it a third time, right? And then the fifth thing, the final thing is, what you're going to do is at the end of your sequence, you're going to rate your intensity level on a scale from 0 to 10. Just like you had test the initial intensity, you're going to rate your intensity level and compare your results with the initial intensity level, right? So if you haven't reached 0, you can include this in your practice and continue it until you reach to that level of 0, right? So basically, this technique is used to treat veterans and stuff like that, right? Active military as well, who suffer from things like PTSD and stuff like that. right? And it has proven to actually show great results, right? So let's get this show on the road. All right, everybody have your setup phrase? Or you need a minute to write down your setup phrase. Even though I have this, or I am facing whatever issue, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I face rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. You change it. Even though I have the fear of rejection. So even though I have the fear of rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. All right, everybody good? Ready? Got your points? So basically we're starting here, over here. Just a reminder. So starting here, top of the head. It's kind of in order coming on, right? Eyebrow to the inner piece of the eyebrow here. Inner piece here. It'll actually tap on the entire thing, we want to put more in the inner piece. Coming around to the side, under the eye, under the nose, right here. This little piece in between here, between your lip and your chin. Beginning of the collarbone. On the arm. And then we finish on the top of the head. Good? So there we go. Like I said, you can still watch the order I'm doing it and I do it, or you could just watch your notes and you could follow the order from your notes, right? So let's just take 2 or 3 minutes and we're going to do it now. Let's go. Just a quick reminder for us, it will be even though I have the fear of rejection, I deeply and completely accept myself. So you say whichever one is yours. Do it here, say it 3 times, and then continue with the others. intensity feels real good. My level of intensity feels real good now. It's easier. You have to test the level of intensity now. You have to think, how do you feel? What do you feel the level of intensity is based on what it is you're tapping about your issue? What number on a scale from 0 to 10? How intense you feel it is now after doing it?
I think it's like a 4.
What about the rest of you? What do you feel is the intensity of what it is? Like, be honest with yourself so that you'll know how much more you need to do. All right. Mindy says a 5.
I feel like mine is still like a 7.
All right. That's cool. Craver?
I didn't try it because I was on with doing stuff.
Okay. Still being on. That's fine, but you could always, you better catch up on the put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure you're gonna go back over this anyways.
Yeah, I do.
She's very studious, yeah, Carifa don't make matters. She's be asking me for more homework and things like Carifa. Carifa, yeah, go and have some fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. We need to get you some hobbies. Okay. Oh yeah, she likes watching movies, so she's always be asking me for more fun movies to watch that can help alleviate. So I'm trying to introduce Anupa to all of the movies and all to the different movies that she should watch and that kind of thing. The different stuff here. So she can see all the things that I normally see as well. She picks up on things fast. She's on a pretty good wavelength. All right. So now we're gonna do our guided connecting with the spirit guide technique. So y'all get real bonuses tonight because you get way more than we bargained for, so a lot extra, right? So that was the emotional side of things, and this is going deeper now where you can connect with either your higher self or your spirit guide, right? So just set yourself up. Anybody needs a washroom break? Yep, everybody's good. Okay, let's see. Where did my page go? Alrighty. So this one we're doing today is actually spoken in the voice of Master Sri Akarshana. Not sure if some of you are all familiar with him, but I've studied some of his stuff as well. He is a spiritual master that is renowned worldwide and stuff like that. So
Who's
this
it?
one is Master Master Sri Akarshana. Right. You can look him up if you don't not familiar. So this one, I'll send it to you guys as well after because you can do this for 21 days, right? So it's called a 21-day guided meditation. He did it with that purpose as well, right? 21 days. So we're all gonna do it together.
Inquiry with Chugo.
Right. So make yourself comfortable and then you listen to the guided instructions. Usual, close your eyes and seat yourself upright. Make sure phone is on do not disturb so we don't get disturbed. Very good. Everybody's good. Seat yourself upright. I'm gonna make sure y'all can hear clearly. Let's confirm.
Namaste to all creators around the world. Today, we're going to do a very special guided meditation where it will enable you to go on this inquiry, this seeker's journey of connecting with your higher spirit, with your higher self, with your higher soul. So some people may call this connecting to the divine, which we are all divine. And while all being one, it's all about how to connect with the extended version of ourselves, the powerful version of ourselves. And when we can connect fully, we can bring that experience into this physical reality and be able to get the fullest experience of life and also manifest everything we want in our reality. So, how we're going to do this to start this inquiry, and at first it will be a journey. So this is a meditation that I encourage all to practice across 21 days. One of the things that Grandmaster Aksha shared with me is that every meditation is a journey, and there is a start, there is a middle, there is an end, meaning there needs to be a goal, there needs to be a completion. The same meditation should not be practiced for years and years and years to go on, because you would have completed that goal and got the powers, the energies, the awakening that you needed in that moment in time. So over the next 21 days, if you practice this, what will happen is it will bring to your awareness more the connectivity, and to find out who you really are, where you really are, and the power of you. And once you get that type of connection, that will enable you to start the next inquiry to become the more powerful self. Okay, so this is for connecting to your higher self. So all you need to do, okay, is first of all, you need to keep an open mind and trust the journey. Find a space where it's quiet, it's peaceful, and be comfortably seated with your spine comfortably erect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place the left palm down, the right palm on top, with the thumbs touching so they're connected but not overlapping. Okay, just rest gently there. Spine comfortably erect, because this is from our base chakra all the way up to our crown. It's the way we connect to the divine. Now, when you've made yourself comfortable, relax the body, relax the mind. Gently close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Slowly out. Inhale. Exhale. And I'd like you to, with your eyes closed, bring your attention towards your third eye chakra. Take a deep breath in. Slowly out. Inhale. Exhale. What I'd like you to do is to bring your attention to your breath, every breath in, every breath out. And to continue the slow, deep breathing. And while you continue the breathing, I'd like you to bring all your focus and all your attention to the breath. Listen to the air in the inhale, and on the exhale. And while you are breathing, you will gently, naturally silence the mind while you're focusing purely on breath. And while you continue this breathing, I'd like you to place these questions in your mind and allow your mind to wander. On this seeker's journey, I'd like you to ask yourself, where is this air coming from right now? This oxygen coming from the trees. And I'd like you to also ask the question, if not the tree, then where would our life be? Or would we be living right now? And if the answer is no, then would it be true that the tree is actually also who we are in one existence and not separate to our existence? What about the space that the air is traveling from? What if there was no space for the air to travel? Would we still be living? Would we be alive? And if the answer is no, then is space also a part of our existence, our life? And as you continue to breathe, I'd like you to open up your heart and just allow this energy, this love, this gratitude to pour out to the universe, to the space, to the trees, to the plants, to nature, to everything around us. As this gratitude we are putting out there right now is purely just an extension of who we really are. Feel this joy, feel this gratitude, feel this love for everything around us. Now, I'd like you to bring your inquiry to the light and the dark. While you breathe, the sun gives us light. If the sun didn't rise this morning, would life still be the same? Would any of us be living right now, or can anything be functioning without it? How powerful is the universe? How powerful is the energies of the sun, of the moon, and all the energies, all the divine energies behind it? And if you allow your mind to just wander into space, the galaxy, the stars, how beautiful is everything around you right now. But what if none of this was in your existence? Then would you be in existence? Keep breathing. And if that's the case, that the stars, the galaxy, everything, the light, the dark, also is a contribution to why you are alive today, why we are alive today, then it must be just in oneness, in one existence. Keep breathing. What about all the challenges, all the negativity in this world? Without light, there's no darkness. Without sadness, there's no happiness. So without challenges, would we still experience joy, success, celebration? And if the answer is no, then this whole existence, is it not true that it all belongs to us? The good and the bad, the positive and the negative. I'd like you now to dig deep into the heart chakra and allow the energies just to flow, the love, the gratitude, your respect to also all the negative energies out there, and send love out there. For the energies that require healing, send love out there. Take a deep breath in and out. Now I'd like you to bring your attention once more towards your third eye chakra. In the third eye chakra, I'd like you to visualize an upside down triangle, and it's glowing. It's very powerful, very powerful. It's glowing and it's pulsing. Now what I'd like you to do is to bring your spirit, bring your energies, bring your focus into that glowing triangle. Visualize and allow yourself just to become that powerful triangle of light that's pulsing while you breathe. And while you are here now, I'd like you just to place your two palms facing up over your knees in receiving mode. While you are and have become this triangle, I'd like you just to allow all the powers, all the powerful energies from the divine, that is just an extended version of you, to enter into your existence. So bring those special powers in, call those special powers in, and receive the power, the courage, the strength, the energies to be able to connect deeply with your most powerful higher self and become one with the energies. Just breathe. And out. Just visualize all the energies and all the powerful divine energies to just enter into your container, your being, your body, your mind, your soul, and become one with these special energies. Now gently take your left palm, place it over your heart, and your right palm over your left palm. Take a deep breath in And slowly out. Just feel this warmth, these powerful energies just enter through that heart chakra into your whole being. And what I'd like you to do is to feel that love, feel that unconditional love and power, and feel that joy and gratitude to be alive right now. And share your respect and your gratitude to the universe, to your extended self. Allow the love just to pour out unconditionally. As it comes out, you are also this powerful vessel which is receiving these powerful energies. Feel that emotion, that gratitude for life right now. Take a deep breath in. Slowly out. Feel that power entering into your body. One more inhale. Exhale. If you take your palms, gently rub them together. Feel the energy, feel the heat. Rub them together and place your palms over your eyes and activate your eyes. Bring yourself and these special powers into this physical reality. Now gently place your palms over your ears, activate the rest of your senses. Place your palms on the back of your neck. Give yourself the healing that your body needs. And bring your palms down the sides of your neck so they both meet into prayer, into namaste. And bring your palms in prayer position towards your heart chakra. Gently look down and slowly open your eyes. Namaste to all. Love and blessings and strength be with you.
Namaste, everyone. I hope you all had a powerful experience. It's really deep, right? It only gets deeper each time. And the more that you do this, the more that you practice your meditation, the more that you do it, it will get deeper and deeper and deeper. And after a while, when you do the deep breaths, the 3 deep breaths in the beginning, as soon as you do that, boom, your entire body will just relax. Have you started noticing that happening? If you've been doing your meditation and you've been doing it consistently, you'll realize by the time you take those deep breaths in the beginning when you're doing the meditation, the entire body will automatically start feeling relaxed. It doesn't take long, you know. You say when there's a saying Gurudev has, when you have better meditation, you have better sleep. And if you have better sleep, there's better meditation also. So it goes hand in hand. It works both ways. Right? So you all gotta experience some cool stuff today again. Yay, let's go. We gotta get some fireworks for this. Huh?
I got the book. I've been reading it.
Well, look at that. Journey Within.
Yeah.
Yeah. Journey Within, Gurudev. Yeah. So we're gonna experience the next session, we're gonna experience our silence, which will be on Wednesday. Remember, the rule of thumb, inform your folks. At least I would say an hour before the session to be at least be in silence. So no speaking, no communicating. You could drink your water, you could eat, you could do whatever, but just let them know that one night, that you need that one night, and explain to them how important it is. And it's gonna do a lot for you, trust me, more than you've ever experienced. I think by now you trust me enough, right? So yes, Sam, tell them you just need one night and you're doing this for yourself and well-being, and it will help you to help them better as well. So no communication means no speaking, no communication, no phone device apart from the Zoom, right? Your phone has to go on do not disturb, etc. So don't worry, the world is not gonna end, and if there's an emergency, everybody can call 911. It's very simple. right? There's nothing different that you can do to change or to alter anything that will happen, right? So sometimes we get scared when you have responsibilities and stuff like that, but this is for you and this is really extremely important. So no communication at least an hour before with no words. You're not going to speak. So you're not going to speak from that point for the rest of the night. So after you finish your session that night, when we do the meditation and stuff, you're just going straight to sleep, straight to bed. And you'll let them know that they cannot communicate with you as well, right? That night. And that's it. And you go straight to bed. And then the next morning you wake up with a different level of revitalization and energy and feeling. Your body's going to be feeling very, very different because you're not going to internalize. It's like internal medicine. Everything that we've used so far now, you're going to internalize it now and feel that real power and healing and energy, right? So just be ready. Wednesday, we will organize. Y'all clear? Any other questions you'll have about Wednesday? So just that basically. Yeah, going into your zone and like I said, being ready for that deep meditation. Wednesday is going to be more meditation practice, basically, because we're going to be, well, you're going to be in silence, right? So it's more meditation. You're going to do a silent meditation as well. So at some point, we're going to meditate without sound and that kind of thing as well, like complete silence, right? And I'll explain more to you that day when we're doing it. I'll explain stuff and like my experience and how it was and what did I encounter and what did it do for me and that kind of thing when we're on that session. Right? But like I said, by far, it's my most powerful meditation experience that I've ever had. Right? So yeah, pretty cool stuff. Right? So you all have an amazing few days until we meet again on Wednesday. I'm excited. Yeah, for the rest of this journey with you guys. It's gonna be super cool.
I said me too. Excited.
Yeah. And we need to plan our dinner date. I'll talk to Vic and find out what's going on and see for the New Yorkers. We need to figure out what day will be a good day. Obviously, I would assume it'll be after Christmas, right? Because you spend Christmas with your families and stuff and whatever. So one of the days before we come back. So I'll talk to Vic and see what their plans are like, what they kind of planning, and we'll see what we can do. You guys probably come and meet us in that vegan restaurant. He took me to a Chinese restaurant that is actually vegan. It's called Bodhi Tree. It's in this Chinese place. What do you call it? It's not specifically Chinatown, but
Flushing?
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 Flushing, correct. It's in Flushing. So where they have all these Chinese places, But who was shot? I don't know. Oh, TV show The Nanny. Okay. She said that's what the nanny was shot. I'm trying to figure out who nanny got shot in. I don't know. Like, yeah, like.